I'm going to try to give compelling visual reasons in the charts why traditional markets will likely bottom out, at least Nasdaq, around 8,600 to 8,900, roughly in the time frame of late 2022 to February-ish, maybe March of 2023, and both why the timing is there. It's a loose timing. You can't time the market, obviously, but I'm giving myself a big cushion room, right? And then why those levels. And then at the end of the video, especially for no coiners or people from traditional markets landing on this video, I am a Bitcoin crypto person. However, my analysis here might be something you haven't seen before, and I chart completely differently, so it might be a fresh perspective on outlooks for traditional markets in addition to for no coiners. The second cool thing about this video for you particularly is hopefully I give you also compelling reason on why you might set on your calendar or just make a mental note around Christmas of 2022. I've never been in crypto before. Maybe I think it's a Ponzi or whatever, but hopefully I'm going to show you that you might want to consider around Christmas of 2022 to jump into the crypto sphere, at least mildly. And then let's go get these charts. Let's get it. We are looking at Nasdaq Composite Futures, ticker NQ1 right here on the 2-day chart. And the 2-day chart, at least with my monitor size, allows us to see the whole history of the futures. It's not of Nasdaq goes a little bit farther back, but the futures here. But it gives us the important stuff that we need to work with is the .com bubble, right? And then our current essentially quantitative easing bubble. You can see them. Now, what this chart is it allows you to see the median or the middle grounds of all history of transactions. So the vast majority of trading in specific regard to candles and volume, the amount traded, is some distance not too far away from this blue line, right? So if you take all the amount of money or all the amount of candles, whichever unit of measurement you want to use, the majority of them, well over half, are some distance that you would consider close to this blue line. Am I making sense so far? Now, based off of that, the .com bubble went way too far above the median line and also had, when it came back down to touch it, when you go too far over the line, when you come to touch it, you have to overshoot it. You overcorrect before you then correctly hug it for a while before potentially trying higher or another event happens, Lehman Brothers, right, which took things way down. And you can see how this lower high here perfectly got that median point as things were really starting to heat up in the economic downturn. So this is a this might be the most important line in all of Nasdaq Composite Futures. It's you probably can't find a single more important straight line throughout the history of it. Yeah, I think that's a fairly confident statement. Anyway, now we can see that this quantitative easing bubble here, which is what I'm loosely labeling it, got a little overextended from the median line. So now we can not only say, hey, it's probably going to come down and touch it. Like there is not going to be a higher high in price. Okay. This is not going to make higher highs until it at least touches that line. Am I making sense? So hopefully that is a fairly logical argument, particularly because the move is pretty compelling at this point. Like it's going down, right? This is nasty. So given that it's not just going to make some macro higher low and then go higher, we can, hopefully you can agree with the logic, like just a mental thought process here, or a mental experiment that, okay, we can accept that this is a strong down move. Now that we can accept that, what's next after that? Well, what's next is where's it going? And the most logical thing after that is it's at least hitting that middle line, right? Okay, so we have two layers of logic, like an if-then statement on top. They're pretty well connected, right? So so I don't want to do like 10 levels of logic here because then it starts breaking down. Like if you're trying to stack pennies, you can only stack it too high. But the third layer of logic, or just thinking, this mental experiment here is, okay, well, because we can accept that it's going down and because it's probably going to hit that middle line, we could also make the loose assumption, right, of logic that because it got overextended, it will overshoot that line. Follow me? So we're only stacking 3 pennies. It's not very difficult. Okay, so watch. Now, let's see that in the charts. It's probably going to overshoot that. So the next line, it's probably going to go here or wick just below it, right? It's going below that line. Now, because this line is ascending, and if we guess, on the time axis left and right here, okay, it makes a big difference, because if I guessed here versus here, like this would be like 6,000 and this would be like 9,200. So we have to start making, even though timing the market is silly and you can't really do it, but as long as you give yourself a huge cushion, I guess, you know, it's not a horrible practice to do. I'm not going to try to guess the date and the time or anything, or the exact week it's going to hit here, but I at least need a 2 to 3 month cushion here of a guess, because if I don't do that, then I could guess as low as, you know, it's ascending. So I essentially have to establish some parameters there. And the way I'm going to do that is to make another type of analysis on top. So I'm layering things on here. Is during down moves, you essentially get into parallel trading channels, right? Or, so in the bottom, usually it occurs within that parallel trading channel. See how this is all parallel? So these lines, it's a rectangle. So the definition of a rectangle has to do with parallel lines, right? Sets of lines. Or during down moves, it gets there before the parallel trading channel hits. So it's either in the parallel trading channel or before, if you're accepting it's a down move, to where of how it's going to hit bottom, right? Are we following along? Okay. Now, that assumption will allow me to start honing in where on this ascending line. I got to guess, like, give myself some cushion. So either here or before. And if I go here or before, I get 8,600 and 8,900. Do you see that? Therefore, I'm guessing somewhere around here. That would be my guess of roughly when and where. And again, timing the market's silly, but look how much time I'm giving. That's 243 days, right? So timing the market within over a year and a half, like, that's okay to do, all right? But it's giving you a general idea of where and why this is going and when it's going. Am I making sense? It'll either get here or before. And so that's based off the logic. It went too high, therefore it needs to go under this line. It not only has to touch this line, but when it touches it, it's going to go below it, and this is the timing. Essentially 3 ideas stacked on top of each other, how I'm getting here. Now, this is, you know, exciting for crypto people watching this channel, but also, or perhaps even more particular to no coiners or the folks landing on this channel from the traditional markets. You know, I don't know what your thoughts are on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, but hey, you gotta get out. Out. Sorry, my girls are home from school. Out. Okay, get out. Now. She wants my cell phone. She wants to play Roblox. The exciting thing about this is there are what's called Bitcoin halving events, and they essentially stimulate all of crypto to go up, right? Historically. And I'm going to show you here in a second that the Bitcoin halving events have always landed, like, there have only been 3, but they have been fortunate enough to land right before a moment of correction or prosperity begins, like before a big up move and after things have either ranged or fallen. And so leading up to that, crypto, independent of the traditional market, we crypto people feel that, hey, you know, institutions and retail people are going to start coming right around, or just, you know, within a 200-day period before that halving event, which happens every 4 years. But I'm going to show you how it aligns. So if you think crypto's a scam or whatever, just realize that it doesn't matter if you think it's a scam or not. Just there's a huge money-making opportunity to be made here close to Christmas. You know, and you might consider making a mental note of, you know, hey, you know, I might have hard feelings about crypto and all that stuff, but, and I'm telling you, it could be a life-changing event somewhere if you can strongly consider around Christmas of 2022. So let me show you that and why. And so this should also be exciting for our people who watching this who are from the crypto space for obvious reasons, because we're already geeked out about crypto anyway. All right. I'm going to, I guess I could take off these rectangles. They might be a little bit distracting. And I'm going to put on the Bitcoin halving events. Let me zoom in here. Historically, Bitcoin really starts charging up about roughly 300 days before here. So 300 days, Bitcoin has already bottomed out and it begins recovering, right? But this line is when it really starts going, not quite parabolic, but it's the pre-parabolic state when most of crypto is now starting to go up now that Bitcoin's confident. That's just how it works. But look at how these lines fall on this chart. Bitcoin is very young. It's only 12 years old, and it's only known from 2009 straight up. Look. So this right here is all that Bitcoin knows is a straight up market. And it's been super fortunate to have its halving events, how we justify things going up. It aligns perfectly with a large move up, a very strong sustained move up. Look at this each time, right? And the only dips it's seen during this, so it's born here, the only dips it's seen are very fast. See, even coronavirus, fast V-shaped correction, right? And here's what's exciting about it. Not only is the next halving event going, so it's like a double whopper. There are two reasons. It's going to happen around March of 2023. So if I make a line here about the same color, straight up and down, bam, where does it go through? That friggin' box. Damn it. There it is. It goes, look, it goes through there. Therefore, I would think that things are going to be bottomed out by then, and we'll start heading up, and Bitcoin's halving event is around that same time. That's one layer of excitement. But the second layer of excitement is that this will be the biggest downturn that Bitcoin has lived through with the traditional market. Therefore, cryptos went down like 98 to 99% outside of Bitcoin. Bitcoin only went down 85% from the 20K top to 3,200 bottom, 2017 through early 2019. But it's happened during blips on the radar, and they were fantastic times to buy when things went crazy low, right? Well, this time Bitcoin is going to see the first huge event, so its first like real recession. It's because it's only known glory the whole time, so things are going to go even lower. And so imagine the rubber band; it goes lower, and when it finally goes up, it's going to pop up harder. And with those two ideas in mind, it looks like this might be one of the most beautiful bear markets in terms of, so if you trade, right, or if you invest, you want to invest at a decent time, or if you trade, obviously timing's your entries are very important along with risk management and profit taking. But if you can get good entries, typically it makes risk management easier and profit taking easier, right? So entries are kind of, a base of stuff. So your entry is very important regardless of what time frame you're dealing with money, clicking with money, whether it's investor or trader, right? And there are two huge reasons on why the timing of this is going to be monumental. And, I don't know how many people are going to view this video outside of crypto, because I'm a crypto person. I don't know if YouTube's going to suggest this out, but I can't stress to you all enough that, if you think Bitcoin's a scam or crypto's a scam, hell, fucking come over here and make money from this scam because it's going to be huge. And put on your calendar, non-crypto folks, December or around Christmas of 2022, because that is going to be the time to strongly consider it, and it could be a massive, massive life-changing event for you. And and feel free from now till then to check out my channel so you can know what's going on within crypto. So that's about all I got for you, both coiners and no coiners alike. And we'll see you next time. You just got Tim Fat Worldwide. Peace.